What up, G-Life? It's your boy MC Shadow back at you with another video. Now, in my channel and in my videos, am I no way promoting or glorifying gang activity or any type of gang action. You get nothing out of the streets, and this is coming from a gang member. You get nothing from the streets except drama, bullshit. It's better to stay in school. You know what I mean? These videos are for educational and documented purposes and for awareness. So not for glorifying or promoting or none of that. You know what I mean? Now, with no further ado, let's get into it.
Shit, I'm on that main line. We keep it active, simply listo when it's game time. I put that OT for the bottom, how we earn stripes. Like catching enemies and leave them in a past life. You bought some lengua, that's the reason why they get sliced. They think they're tough, got the pedal and they drop dime. These fools are trapper, crave attention while they speak lies. But fuck the talking, ain't no evidence on this side. You're fucking with a straight demonio shit that don't hide.
What goes around, should we take flight? Nothing new, another day on this rough side.
But in El Varrio, we don't talk, fool, we take flight. And when there's beef, fool, you know that it's on sight. Love and hate, boy, you know that's a thin line. Make the wrong pick it, flat line. Make the wrong pick it, flat line. We don't talk in the Varrio, fool, we take flight. And when there's beef, fool, you know that it's on sight. Love and hate, boy, you know that's a thin line. Make the wrong pick it, flat line.
M.O.D. Entertainment presents.
What's good, G-Life? This right here is San Diego, California. This is where we're going to be starting off with the first neighborhoods of varrios that established themselves in different locations. So, you know, their birthplace was in one location, and then they have homies that moved to separate locations and established their neighborhoods there. And when I mean established, I mean actually really established themselves and have been there already for quite some time. Obviously, right here in San Diego, in the Logan Heights area, is where you can find the Varrio Logan Heights, one of the biggest, dangerous, and well-documented neighborhoods. I have covered them several times here in the G series. This is where they originated at. Now, as we make a trip down to the San Fernando Valley, my home, is where you could find their home place right here in the Valle. Logan Heights has been in the San Fernando Valley since the 80s. They landed right here in North Hollywood on Booner Street, close to also North Hollywood High School. You know, it was, you know, where they originated at, and then moved down to Van Nuys. And here in Van Nuys, you're able to catch them right here on what's Haskell, Sherman-Way to Vanoan, Vanoan to Woodley. Everything in the middle is their neighborhood, like from Hard and Vos and Gilt Street and all of that. And they do have several clicas here in the 818, from the little homies to the youngsters and etc. They are roughly more than 100 and something members. I know that. Like I said, they do hold a presence here. They've been here already since the 80s and have, you know, turf and everything like that. So, you know, they're legitly valleros, even though they originated out of San Diego. You know what I mean? And they are located also in several other states. It's what sometimes people seem to not realize. You know what I mean? Or don't have that knowledge. Because there's sometimes where I cover neighborhoods and, you know, people will be like, nah, that barrio's not in that location, or this is that. I've been around. I know a lot of people. The reason why I'm adding them to, like, these areas is because those barrios are in those areas. I wouldn't say they're in those areas if they're not in those areas. You feel me? Like, I actually met individuals from these areas and etc. I'm just not talking out of my ass or just something that I've seen on the internet. You know, we've been around. We know people. Anywho, so yeah, they've been right here in the Valle for quite some time. You know, we have a good relationship with these guys in the Valle, considering, you know, some of my homies, their brothers are like some of the original members out of the Logans over here. So they put in work, you know, they put in down, you know what I mean? You know, they hold it down. Right here, you see them up. You do see them up as LH TS, like how you see it roughly more in San Diego. Right here, you see it the same way, but sometimes you see it more just LH. And as the pictures you can see right here, why people are probably wondering why the H is crossed out. They feud with a neighborhood over here called Haskell, because due to the territory and stuff like that. So that is the reason why the H's are crossed out. So you most often see the H's crossed out over here compared to the ones, if you see a hit from the ones in San Diego, you don't see the H crossed out. It's for that reason, you know what I mean? Due to the fact that these pictures are the ones from over here in the A1A Valle. And yeah, going at it with, several neighborhoods, like it is anywhere else. And yeah, the Logan Heights, like I said, been here since the 80s and holding it down. And right here, they established, and been established right here in the A1A Valle. And now as we make our way down to Los Angeles, LA County, to the portion right here that's known as Boyle Heights, where we can find the infamous and famous Orphans gang. Orphans being an original old school barrio, one of the one that's well known right here within LA County and within California, due to the many cameos it has appeared in several movies and documentaries and etc. It's a well-known neighborhood, been around since the 20s, so they've been doing this for a long time. This is their home in Boyle Heights, in the iconic bridge right here. But what people don't know is that there is also a West Side Orphans. So it's not just known as East Side Orphans, but there's a West Side Orphans. And West Side Orphans neighborhood is located here in the city of Hollywood. Yes, Hollywood, although it's known for, the many strips, the high life and everything like that, it is also a treacherous area within LA County, gang infested. Shit be cracking, you know what I mean? It ain't no joke in Hollywood. Like I said, there is the glamour to it, but like I said, everywhere you go, there's gonna have a dark side, and Hollywood is no different. And this is where you can find the West Side Orphans, and they have the West Side Orphans, or as known as the Locos Clica, is where they have the Locos Clique. And it is large, you know what I mean? They've been here since the 40s, I was told. So they're, well known throughout the area, you know what I mean? They have a, large chunk of territory. Was their territory, it's what's Hollywood Boulevard. Hollywood Boulevard, I would say, to Vermont to, I would have to say, to Santa Monica Boulevard. So that's Hollywood to Vermont to Santa Monica Boulevard. So everything that's in the middle is what's considered their neighborhood, which is vast amount of territory, you know what I mean? Because it extends all the way to where passing the freeway. So throughout Fountain Avenue, close to the Barndale Art Park as well, you know what I mean? Throughout New Hampshire, throughout Serrano Avenue, Western, Normandy, Kenmore, all of that is what's considered the West Side Orphans territory, which is a large chunk of territory, you know what I mean? Right in the mix of the danger zone, because there's so many varrios jam-packed within that area. But like I said, the West Side Orphans has called this area home for a while already, and they put it down. They put in work, they do their thing, you know what I mean? So yeah, the West Side Orphans, the locals be representing right there, you know what I mean? Shout out to the homie Smiley Loco, putting it down for that M.O.D. Check out his music right here on my channel. Homie has a lot of talent. He's from the West Side Orphans. Shout out to the homie Blue, and shout out to all the homie from West Side Orphans that be representing it and putting it on the map for theirs, you know what I mean? But that's what's up with the West Side Orphans right there. And this right here is the West Side of Los Angeles, where you could find now the next neighborhood that we will be covering, which is the Playboys gang. Now, Playboys has a big back history to it and has spread out so many different places that it's gonna need its own episode. You know what I mean? Just because there's so much lore to dive into, I can't give it justice just in pieces like this. But this is where they originated at, out of the West Los Angeles portion. Where it be cracking, you know what I mean? Where there's all kinds of neighborhoods. Their neighborhood was located on the Normandy to Olympic area. So what's Normandy and Olympic? What's Fedora? What's Kenmore? What's Bernardo Street was 12, what's 11th, all of that is what's considered their neighborhood, which is, a large chunk of territory. That is where they originated at, the spot where everyone knows them from. Yes, and since then has spread out to, different parts of Los Angeles and LA County. But what people don't know is that also here in this area, known as the Garden Grove, Orange County, yes, the Playboys gang is also located in Orange County. Not that many people know. That's why when I covered them in that series, they're like, no, there's no Playboys in Orange County. No, there's a Playboy gang in Orange County. And yes, it's the same ones as the ones from Los Angeles. The GXG, Garden Grove Playboys gang, is located right here. Their territory is, pretty extensive. It's from Lincoln to Ontario Street. So Buena Vista Street is what slices through their neighborhood. You know what I mean? Almost close to the Robert Gross Park is where you can find them. You know what I mean? Close to the Hare School Park is where you can find them. Right there on Corvette Street, all of that. Gilbert Street is where you can find the Playboys gang, or as the heart of their hood was located on. I think the name of the street is Palmwood and Tibbis. I think that's how you pronounce those streets. Is the heart of their hood. And this is where the Orange County, Playboys neighborhood is located at. And they've been right here, from what I was told, since the 90s. And it is a chapter of theirs that is very large. Even though they're spread out in other locations, I would have to say that maybe Garden Grove is probably their second largest chapter, well established within this area. You know what I mean? Already had, gang of members, well rooted in this area. And like I said, it is the same one, and they've been holding it down right here for the OC. They're proud to be from Orange County, just like homies are proud to be from LA and all of that. It's the same Playboys gang, and yes, they did move out here and set up shop and establish themselves and continue to represent theirs and put theirs on the map. You know what I mean? The Playboys gang ain't no suckers, and that's what's up with the PBS right here. Now, another neighborhood that's coming out of the Pico Union District that set up shop in a different location is the Westside Orphans neighborhood. Westside Orphans, this is their original home base in the Pico Union District, obviously on Union and 8th, the Union Grandes. This is where the Orphans neighborhood, was started and came up from. They were roughly a small neighborhood, you know what I mean? Not as large as some of these other neighborhoods around, roughly around about 200 heads. But nonetheless, homie, they did their thing, homie. They were putting in work, they put it down, they earned their rights, their status, their stripes, and all that, you know what I mean? Out of the danger zone right here, in the midst of all these other neighborhoods, you know what I mean? Although they didn't have a big turf, what they had was theirs, and they held it down. And now, back over here now to Garden Grove. Once again, it's ironic that it turned out that way, that both, Playboys and them are both coming roughly around the same area and roughly landed in the same area. But, being that these neighborhoods have been around for a cool minute, well, Orphans not as long as Playboys. Obviously, Orphan was up since the 80s. But, established themselves here in Garden Grove. Now, the Orphans neighborhood is a little bit more extended right here in the Garden Grove area. They established themselves heavily in this area by Newland, you know what I mean? Throughout Jackson, throughout Monroe Street, but 15th Street, that's their domain. That's why you see it tagged, you see it tattooed on them. That is their home domain, their dojo, their, you know what I mean? That's battlegrounds, you know what I mean? That's where they hold it down. That's where they rep theirs. That's why you see the 15 for 15th Street, is their home base right here in Garden Grove. So yes, they are the same ones as the ones in Los Angeles. Orphans is another neighborhood that extended in several locations. But right here they have a stronghold, they're pretty deep right here in Garden Grove. I was told that they're roughly more than 200 members here in Garden Grove. And LA and Orange County ain't really all that far, so you have them, chilling with each other and stuff like that. So it's a lot more larger as a whole neighborhood, you know what I mean? But yeah, this is another neighborhood that set up shop in the OC, so you can find them in LA and in the OC, just as well as other neighborhoods. I will be covering more of these neighborhoods because there's so many neighborhoods that have done this. It's not even funny. So I will be bringing those. I will still be bringing the crews that became neighborhoods. All of that is still coming. But yeah, that's what's up with the Orphans right here. Shout out to my homie Toker from Orphans. That's a real one right there. Down ass homie that holds it down. And shout out to all the homies from Orphans that put it on the map. You know what I mean? But yeah, they are located here in Orange County, Garden Grove, and also in LA. And that's what's up with them.